Hello, everybody. Okay, so today we are talking about one of the biggest questions that I get from the women that I work with and speak to, and that is, do I have to go all in or cold turkey when it comes to my exercise and my patterns with food in order to do this healing process? So today's training is going to be mainly focused on the topic of exercise and geared towards those who have a tendency towards rigid or over exercise patterns. However, the idea of increasing the amount that you eat and allowing yourself to eat all foods unconditionally can also be related to this topic and this training as well. So, if that question has been on your mind, and if the notion of needing to go cold turkey or all in has had you feeling perhaps stalled or anxious, especially if that thought has been keeping you from making any steps towards your healing, then this is a training for you. So let's set up a brief agenda for today. So to start, I will simply explain what I mean by cold turkey or all in, and we'll have a brief chat about when that is necessary. I'll further explain who this training is best meant for. As you will hear me say, this topic comes with a great deal of nuance, and like anything, is not black and white. And so everyone's situation needs to be accounted for in terms of what step is best. So after that, I'll explain what is meant by this term, the window of tolerance. I'm going to go into detail about what this means, show you more about what it is, and explain what I mean when I say building your tolerance to change. Lastly, I will go on to further explain my philosophy on healing as a coach and the approach that I take with my clients in my program, and explain why I don't always push or believe in a cold turkey approach. All right, now we can move on. So first of all, what does cold turkey or all in even mean? When it comes to healing, the attachment you have to exercise, as well as to restrictive eating and food rules, going all in would mean letting go of exercise entirely. So stopping all forms of extra activity outside of daily living necessities and daily movement. And it would also mean giving yourself complete unconditional permission to eat all foods, to let go of your rules around what you can or cannot eat. Now, the debate about going cold turkey, like I said before, is like many things, not black and white. There are many contexts and situations that we need to explore and that always need to be considered for someone's safety and health. So in a situation where someone has medical markers, including weight, electrolyte levels, blood levels, heart rhythm, that require medical intervention or more pressing medical care, then it is necessary that all form of exercise is stopped and that they are nourishing themselves under the safe guidance of medical professionals. So sometimes there's no doubt that halting exercise is needed. However, if that is the case, this should always be done under the guidance and watch of medical care. As a coach, my first priority is your safety. I am trained in specific areas, but that does not include medical supervision. This is why I always offer a free initial coaching call so that I can ensure you are getting the type of support that is the best fit for you. So this training today is not speaking to those situations. This is also not to underestimate that need in those situations, nor is it to take the place of medical guidance from a medical professional. This training today is meant to give you clarity on how I work with the women that I work with, why I work in that way, things that I've learned in my past journey, as well as the journey of the women I work with. And it's to give you more clarity on my philosophy on the healing process. So let us get into it. Often it is said that in order to recover or heal, one has to take out all form of exercise. As I've said, my approach to healing is not so black and white. In short, yes, in order to reprogram or fully rewire your brain to no longer believe that exercise is what you have to do to be okay, which is right now what it believes, we need to help it learn this. We need to help it learn that rest is not a threat. And we help it learn by showing it. So this showing is done by the physical act of refraining from exercise. That physical act is what will allow your body to learn that rest is safe to do and that you will be okay if and when you aren't exercising. So it needs to learn this. Your body is not just going to wake up one day and be okay with it. No matter how ready you might feel in your mind, or no matter what words you tell yourself, your body has to go through a process of learning. Okay, for now, I want you to just let all of that go. So let everything I just said go. So right now, put 2 feet on the ground. I want you to focus on relaxing your jaw, close your eyes if it feels okay, and take a big breath in through your nose. Hold it. Now, as slow as you can, begin to let it go all the way to the bottom. Really slow. Maybe give yourself a little shake. Maybe just shake out your shoulders. Maybe shake out your hips. Maybe roll your head from side to side. Just shake that off, okay? So, having been there myself, I know how big of an idea this is. I know how huge it can feel to think about letting go of all exercise. I know that feeling of panic, that feeling of freezing, of that, no way, that's impossible. Or maybe even tears. I know how the idea of going where you are, from where you are now to nothing, can be possibly too much to imagine. Exercise has become your way to cope with things, with feelings, with stress. It helps you feel in control. Maybe it helps you feel calmer. It helps you feel like you have achieved something. And like I said before, this is right now what your body knows. And that's okay. But how do we get you from where you are now to a place where that idea is not so intense? And even to a place where you can imagine and even feel ready to let it go. So let's talk about the window of tolerance. Every single person has what we call a window of tolerance. This is a zone where we as humans can process emotions and change and stress in a healthy way. When we are in our window of tolerance, we are able to keep our rational brain intact. So we're able to still access our logic and our reason and be able to make rational decisions. We are also able to listen and hear what others are saying. We're able to be aware of our surroundings and the space around us. We are able to be curious about the thoughts and what's happening for us. We're able to go to and use coping strategies to help calm us. And in this place, we can still access things like play and joy and laughter and creativity and connection, despite the other emotions and stressors that are going on. So these are all signs that you are within your window of tolerance. Now, when a stressor or a trigger occurs and our body starts to detect that something is not quite okay or dangerous, that's when we begin to leave or creep out of that window of tolerance zone. And we begin to go into one of two places. These two places, which in terms of drawing this out for you, are the areas above or below your window of tolerance. These are called areas of dysregulation. So we might go upward into a state of hyperactivity, or what we call fight or flight. So this is when we experience feelings of impulsivity and compulsion, rage or anger, panic and fear, even things like mind reading, aggression, defensiveness, shallow breathing, lack of focus, overthinking and spinning thoughts, or even heightened perfectionism. Or when we feel a stressor, we could also go downward into a state of what we call hypoarousal. And it's here where we experience things like apathy, depression, brain fog, total lack of motivation, fatigue, hopelessness. So when our bodies don't feel safe, this is a term I use a lot with my clients in my program, we begin to enter one of these two places. We may start to notice sensations of growing anxiety or discomfort trickling in. We may start to feel our mood and energy changing. So at this time, we can learn and use tools and strategies to reground us and bring us back into that window of tolerance so that we can keep a level of ration in place and not let ourselves be overcome with those emotions. However, if the stressor is too much, or we don't have the tools yet to bring us back into our window of tolerance, then that's when we can fully enter one of those two places. And when in either of those places, like you saw before, it becomes very hard to think clearly. And it's very hard, if not impossible, to access our true selves. Therefore, it becomes very hard to remember your goals, to remember the reasons why it's important for you to take this step. And it becomes hard to actually take that step forward in your healing. Because in these places, your body takes over and has the ability to freeze you. Now, the thing about restrictive eating and overexercise specifically is that right now, there's a high chance that you're actually living up there, up in that hyperarousal or fight or flight zone. So this idea of go, go, go all the time, must be moving all the time, a feeling of anxiety and restlessness, rigidity, perfectionism, chances are this could be your common state right now. Perhaps it's even what feels most comfortable to you because it's what you know. But this place is not a place where healing and change can occur. So our first task is to help you come back down into that window of tolerance area so you can start to bring in that sense of safety and groundedness again. Then we work to build you a toolbox of tools and strategies, whether those be tangible things and items from your environment, or whether they be internal tools to self-soothe yourself from the inside out, all to help you stay within that safe place, even when you are making a step that brings in discomfort. During the healing process, what it all comes down to is we need to help you hold on to a sense of safety as much as possible in your daily life so that we can keep you within this window of tolerance so that you can achieve your goals. Now, what does all this have to do with the cold turkey or all-in approach? The second thing about restrictive eating and overexercise is that at the start of your journey, chances are this window of tolerance is fairly narrow, meaning changes that seem maybe somewhat small may feel stressful to you, to your body, and they have the ability to bring you into a place of dysregulation or fight or flight. At this point, when we can catch it and use those tools I talked about to keep you moving forward. But if we, let's say, take too big of steps that your body is not yet ready or primed for, and if you don't yet have the tools and support to stay grounded while making that change, then what we risk is you going completely out of your window of tolerance and you end up in one of those states. And this is where things could backfire. This is where feeling This is where you could feel overwhelmed and run away, where you say absolutely no way, where you experience anxiety that no longer feels manageable, and therefore you go back to what you know, because that's what's familiar. In short, when we aren't doing the work to keep you within this safe zone and help you come back there when discomfort arises, the changes you make could be short-lived or not happen at all. And neither of those things is what we want. We want you to move forward in a way that will build a foundation for lasting progress, lasting change. This is just a quick graphic to help you envision those places where when you start to come out of your window of tolerance, we can catch it. We can use those tools so that you don't go too far into these completely dysregulated places. So how do we ensure that you are taking the steps that will move you forward in a powerful way for your healing and stretch your comfort zone, but that aren't too much that things backfire? So my job as a coach is to be there with you, to help you find these steps and to help support you through them by giving you a resource of tools and by supporting you in the moment through the step, as well as after the step, so that you can achieve it and therefore move forward. In this way, we are what I call building your tolerance to change. By doing this, what you find is that your comfort zone begins to grow. As time goes on, you feel more and more able to handle and manage changes. And you find that a change that felt huge to you a few months ago now doesn't feel as intense. Now, will you still feel emotions when making these changes? Absolutely. But there's a difference between feeling an uncomfortable emotion, maybe some anxiety or maybe some sadness, and feeling supported to be able to safely work through it and to know ways to work through it, and experiencing an emotion that feels like too much, not knowing how to deal with it, and therefore running away and reverting back to your previous coping mechanisms. Okay, so now, if you are saying, but I am ready to make that big change, I want to take that step and I want to let it all go, I am ready to go all in, then let's make sure you have all the tools and resources and support to help you through that change so that you can keep that fabulous work and so that it can be sustained, not just short-lived, so that your changes can be cemented in and that you don't go running back. But if right now that's not you and the thought of going all in feels like too much, then this doesn't mean you aren't worthy of support or to begin the process of healing. If this is you, then let's take the step that is right for you. Let's start doing the work of stretching the window of tolerance or your comfort zone. Let's start showing your body in safe ways that, oh, okay, that change is actually okay. I'm still okay, so that you can get there. Taking a step is an act of change. Just because you aren't going all in or cold turkey right off the bat in your journey does not mean you aren't actively healing. You are actively changing with every step, so long as you are doing the work that keeps you moving forward. Consistency, incremental goal setting, intentional soothing strategies. With these things, you are changing. You are progressing towards that place of freedom that you want to be able to have and experience. And with those steps and this stretching, you can get there. If you want to talk about how you and I would work together to help you overcome rigidity with exercise or restrictive patterns with food, so that you can feel okay resting your body and cultivate less discomfort when you're nourishing your body adequately, so that you can feel okay straying from your routines and doing things that make you happy instead, I will drop a link to book an initial coaching call with me so you and I can talk about whether my program is a right fit for you. This is a 4-month program that takes you through a specific 3-phase process with personalized support and live accountability every step of the way. So you can click on the link in the comments. That will take you to my calendar where you can find a time that works for you in your time zone. If you have any questions or takeaways from this training, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope to speak to you soon. Bye for now.